Bashem Hawashai, Bashem Kodash, Shalaka Kodash, Alnaya, Babakasha, Babakasha, Babakasha. And that is asking me, Bashem Hawashai, to send His Holy Spirit upon me, you know. So, with all praise and glory to Yahweh Bashem Hawashai, you know, blessings to the elect out there pushing this word with all hope and fear of Yahweh Bashem Hawashai, with a desire to enter into the kingdom, you know. So, you know, I want to jump straight into this lesson dealing with wartime effects. So, since recently, brothers been bringing out certain scriptures. May I do a video? Brothers been bringing out certain videos concerning the blockage of the Strait of Hormuz and the various blockage in the Red Sea, you know, various waterways. But one of the major waterways also is in the Black Sea concerning Russia and Ukraine, because if these various waterways get affected, you have these gonna be massive ripple effect upon various countries around the world, all countries around the world, you know. And this is gonna help to escalate the war. So I'm just gonna bring out this precept, and I'm just gonna make a clip play, and I'm gonna bring out some things that are gonna transpire just through war taking place and ships being attacked in the Black Sea. So this is Isaiah 34 verse 1. It says, "Come near, ye nations, to hear, and hearken, ye people. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein. Let the earth hear, and all that is therein. The world and all things that come forth of it. For the indignation of Yahweh is upon all nations, and his fury upon all their armies. He had utterly destroyed them, he had delivered them to the slaughter." And this is what's coming. So we are prophesying this, telling these nations that Yahweh Bashem Hawashai is the one that putting up to this war. He might work on the minds of the leaders, as written in Proverbs 21 verse 1. The king's heart is in the hands of Yahweh. So right now, the Lord will work on their minds to bring to pass this third woe, which Revelation speak of, which cometh quickly. So I want to play this clip first.
Talks on TVP World. My name is Sasha Farbach. More than 40 ballistic missiles and 125 drones were launched at Ukraine over the weekend in one of Russia's largest aerial attacks of the war. At the same time, a Russian strike on a civilian cargo ship carrying grain in the Black Sea has killed 10 crew members. As Kiev calls urgently for more air defense and expands its own long-range drone campaign inside Russia, we're now joined to discuss the latest with Stepan Rusin, Program Coordinator, German-Ukrainian Partnership, Transatlantic Dialogue Center. Good to have you back with us.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
Stepan, let's go to the Black Sea first. We're hearing that this internationally flagged cargo ship carrying grain was hit. There are, at this point in time, already 10 casualties confirmed that might rise in the future. We've seen condemnation. I mean, this reminds us of a few years ago when Russia also attacked the grain and food corridor there. Is this now again opening up, and what signal is Russia sending here?
It's first of all, a reply from the Russian side towards the Ukrainian campaign against the sanctioned tanker fleet in the Black and Azov Seas that Ukraine has been carrying out over the past 3 weeks. This is also the message to Ukraine and to the Western countries that Russia can escalate in the maritime domain as well, and that it can be interpreted also as a sign that it would be better for Ukraine from the point of view of Ukraine's grain export, also to hold back and return to the status quo that existed before the previous months, I guess.
And also, talking about the maritime domain, I mean, this is something unfortunately we've seen before. And now with these kind of strikes on civilian cargo ships, we've had also stray drones as well into Romania as well. So, I mean, how much of a danger is this that this could have more, let's say, widening expansion and more attacks that might even hit NATO country nations like Romania?
The danger is rising. The Ukrainian calculus was that if we show to the Russians that we can get them in some areas that they do not expect, that will motivate the Russians to be open to negotiations and to ending the war. But from what we have been seeing over the past months with the attacks on civilians in Kyiv, with attacks against civilian vessels, the answer from the Russian side is more escalation. So they still believe that Ukraine does not have enough stamina, enough of resources to hold out more than Russia can, so that they are doubling down on their efforts with the terror against civilians to put pressure on Ukrainians. And as far as I understand, they hope that in the end this will make Ukraine accept Russia's conditions.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, as you just mentioned, that pressure, but it's really from both sides. I mean, it's increasing this tit for tat. Russia does one thing, Ukraine responds. You mentioned those attacks also by the Ukrainians in terms of the maritime in the Sea of Azov and also in the Black Sea. So could we see now, as a response, potentially more of this hitting the Shadow Fleet or other Russian maritime assets?
I'm not sure if we will be able to see more. As of now, close to 150 vessels have been already targeted in the Azov and Black Sea, and as of now, there are almost no ships left. They all are not anymore in this area of operations of the Ukrainian armed forces. So I guess in the next days there will be less of those ships, and maybe there will be some.
Alright, so as you can see, you have escalation in the Red Sea. So let me bring out this to show you. It's a Black Sea blockades. Black Sea blockades severely disrupt global food and energy market, triggering supply chain and bottleneck, inflationary pressure, and increased risk of famine. So these are some of the things where I highlight due to these various blockades of these waterways. When you see war take place in a various waterways, trade ships won't be able to use these waterways. They will be attacked. It said the Council on Foreign Relations notes that such disruptions heavily penalize vulnerable nations. Specific impact includes surging food prices. Ukraine and Russia typically account for nearly 1/3 of global wheat exports and half of its sunflower oil. Blockades traps these agricultural products, resulting in acute global food inflation and heightened food insecurity across the global south. Energy shocks. The Black Sea is a critical corridor for Russian oil and gas shipment, and regional blockades or attacks on tankers drive up global crude prices and fuel costs, supply chain strains. When maritime routes close, countries are forced to rely on slower and significantly more expensive overland and rail alternatives, increasing logistical backlog. So these are some of the things where are transpire right now, and a lot of people don't understand. Them not start feel the ramification as yet, but you do want to see a transpire in the Strait of Hormuz, in the Red Sea, in the Black Sea. It will have a crippling effect on global markets, yo. And that's why in 2nd Esdras, I'm going to close on this now because I'm not going to make this video very long. I'm just hitting the point. That's why in 2nd Esdras 16, I'm going to start at 17. You read, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Which days am I talk? The days where the disciples asked Yahushua, when shall these things be? What shall be the sign of thy coming at the end of the world? And Yahushua list out various things, so now see hear of wars and rumors of wars. The Lord telling us that nation are going to rise up against nation. Until they have famine, pestilence, and earthquake in diverse places. All these things are transpiring now as we speak. The verse below that says, all these are the beginning of sorrows. So listen what the beginning of sorrows entail. Verse 18, it said, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death. And this is the time of Jacob trouble the scriptures make reference of. The beginning of wars. This is what you see a transpiring now. Your wars and rumors of wars. Nations shall rise against what? Nations. And the powers shall stand in fear. And one of the reasons why these powers are in fear is because of the nuclear capability that various countries have. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? And this is the question where a lot of people are supposed to ask. What am I going to do in these times? But right now we're in a time when a lot of people have this normalcy bias, not understanding the wrath of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua is being poured out upon the earth as we speak. So I just wanted to show you the implication of these various attacks in the Black Sea and how it will affect the global market. So with that I want to say Kalalal, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Yahweh Korash, Shalom.